In today's video, we are back in London. I'm heading in to shoot one of the city's most recognisable locations, to revisit some of the classic London photographs. I've come here to Regent Street to work on one of my favourite types of photography, capturing those sought after red bus long exposures. Starting with a portrait composition, attempting to capture two buses moving into the frame at the same time, which I managed to do quite quickly. An edit and quick cleanup, and I'm very happy with shot number one. After reflecting on the first composition, I wanted to make one change, and this meant crossing the street, shooting landscape to capture more of the famous Regent Street curve. Capturing two separate shots for the final image, I managed to create movement on both sides of the road. I find a 2-second exposure time creates the strongest motion blur for these types of photographs. The buses are moving quite slowly on this section of the street. Another classic photograph is right behind me, shooting the Regent Street station staircase. My version of this today isn't great, with the light being very flat. It's on my list of photographs to come back and recapture in the future. With these three classics complete, I wanted to work on some angles that I haven't shot before, which is always quite a challenge in a location I've been shooting for years. I started to look for these compositions, but with absolutely no luck at first. Some of these angles were just not working out at all, to the point where I almost didn't share these with you, but I understand that it's all part of the process. So moving on to a subject I know would work, this beautiful building right here. I've taken another two shots with the idea of merging these sections together to create one final image. I aim to take the movement of the bus and crossing in shot 1, which was a 2-second exposure, and add it to shot 2, which is a 30-second exposure. I love the movement in the clouds and how the street to the left-hand side of the image has lots of motion blur, making it a lot less distracting. I absolutely love this final photograph. Curved leading lines up to the middle section with the red motion blur of the bus helping to emphasize the rush of the pedestrians crossing. After this, we move on to my last shot of the day. I don't know why, but this feels a little bit different to me, and it's an image that doesn't have to be edited all that much, which is usually a sign of a great photograph. I had once again looked at merging this with a long exposure of the sky, but decided it would be too distracting and might take the viewer's eye away from the beautiful architecture and white bus motion blur in the middle. I really enjoyed coming back to Regent Street. It feels different now though, with a fresh love for photography and the desire to come back to improve my old work. I'm going to be doing this all over London this year, and I can't wait to improve some photographs I know I already love.